am sure you all have seen the clip making its way around the internet. The way the sleepies have taken over a word we meant for good and redefined it with some nonsense is giving cultural appropriation. Bethany Mandel was recently asked to define woke on The Hills Rising. Listen.
Of Americans consider themselves very liberal, and probably fewer of them consider themselves to be woke. And so, when...
Would you mind defining woke? Because it's come up a couple times, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So, woke is sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. Woke is something that's very hard to define, and we've spent an entire chapter defining it. It is sort of the understanding that we need to totally reimagine and redo society in order to create hierarchies of oppression. It's hard to explain in a 15-second soundbite.
Her definition is, of course, abusing the original intent of the term. She fumbled, and frankly, she couldn't really land an answer. Since then, the sleepies have taken a stab at the definition. They've thrown around phrases like culture wars, identity politics, leftist takeover, and of course, critical race theory. Man, if people would only engage in critical thinking. These words, these phrases are dangerous without proper context. And that context is fear being perpetuated by folks, mostly from the ultra-right, who are afraid to share power. And that fear is then cast upon people who frankly don't know any better. Another definition is making its way around the internet too. It is the radical belief that American institutions are rooted in discrimination. If we strike just two words, we actually agree. Strike radical belief and add understanding. The understanding that American institutions are rooted in discrimination. Now we got ourselves a deal. When I think about woke, I think about a burden that requires a conscious people to be aware, on guard, and vigilant. It means facing the uncomfortable reality that our skin color, our culture are deemed inherently violent and criminal. It means the talk is a requirement and ain't an option to our families. It calls us into awareness about the many disparities that exist from the South to the heartland, to the coast, and sea to shining sea, with not just the hope, but the work that results in parity. It directs us toward developing policy that finally results in liberty and justice for all, instead of the kind that works violently to keep truth out of textbooks. The great W.E.B. Du Bois and the burden of double consciousness he warned of in The Souls of Black Folk articulates why wokeness is so necessary, because it invites us to dream a world where we can finally set aside the burden of conforming. Wokeness tells us that the denial of, refusal to see, and failure to address systemic or individualized oppression, discrimination, racism, and injustice cannot peacefully coexist with righteousness. Kids, the moral of the story is simple. Always make those who attack you state the terms of battle. Man, wokeness is knowledge. So sign me up. Stay woke, work woke. Anything less is just harmful.